The sky is blue and identity obviously plays a big role in everyone's life. As a Turk born in Germany, my identity is constantly being questioned by dubious people. German intellectuals might ask when I'm assimilating. If I don't, then I'm not integrated. Apparently, paying taxes, doing my masters, minding my own business, and obeying the law is not enough to be considered integrated. I have to enrich myself in the high culture of German cuisine, drink beer, and consider myself German. Of course, this treatment is not demanded from Jews because that would actually be racist. Naturally, this is not the only type of treatment you get as a Turk born in Germany. You're also constantly reminded that you're not part of Germany if you're additionally a Muslim. So if you're, for example, a converted German, then it sucks to be you. You're not part of the nation your ancestors were citizens of for the past centuries. And of course, the obligatory dual citizenship has to be mentioned, which is being held hostage because it only applies to specific cases of Turks. Your average Turkish Joe is forced to decide because why would you be equal to Jews, Syrians, Serbs, or Afghans? There is a reason why Germany is told that it has institutionalized racism and that it is widely spread. This goes all the way to racial profiling. But hey, why are you not German, right? So as a Turk, you may seek for help by your fellow Turkish citizen, but nope, you get an even worse treatment because apparently I'm ruining the reputation of Turks by doing my best, and I have to be a German because it's not up to me to decide what I am. There was this guy, I forgot the name of. He said something along the lines of "Ne mutlu Türk'üm diyene." I'm not sure, but I guess he's irrelevant to Turkish society. I can't seem to remember his name. Now, of course, life in Germany is still great for me, and I was fortunate enough to experience very little racism. However, this doesn't change the facts. This brings me to the question, what is identity in the 21st century? Now, some might say it's the education you received and the education that marks you. Following that logic, there should be no minorities in any effing country, which is obviously not the case. So some might add, it's the culture that is imprinted on you. In particular, the way you think, behave, and act. Now this might sound very logical, but it is a conclusion that is full of shit. Let me explain. I don't want to sound arrogant, but people consider me disciplined, educated, and respectful. These are also characteristics which are attributed to Germans because reasons, meaning I apparently have these attributes because I was apparently raised in Germany. However, as a Turk that grew up in Germany, I can guarantee you that not everyone is disciplined, educated, and respectful. A common misconception, for example, is that Istanbul is actually the capital of Turkey. And yes, people may appear on time to work, but so are people in big companies in Turkey. Now, some might say, sure, but when people attribute these things to Germans, then they are talking about the educated layer of Germany, and there are plenty of educated people in Germany. And yes, there are a lot of educated people in Germany, but that does not translate to everyone being respectful. Disciplined and educated, sure, but not other things. But the question is this really any different from the educated layer of other people and nations? This entire topic also depends on who you are and where you are. If you are, for example, a foreigner in, let's say, Dresden, then you can be the best person on earth. You're in for a rough life as a foreigner. In conclusion, there are all kinds of people in Germany, and plot twist, and this is a very hot take, there are also all kinds of people in Turkey. The second issue is that parental education is entirely dismissed here. Whether you like your parents or not, they have, for better or worse, a massive influence on your actions, behavior, and the way you think and value things. I don't think I have to provide a source for this. Thirdly, postmodern culture is a global phenomenon, meaning certain values, dreams, and aims are universally shared across culture and identities, and thus influences behavior, values, and way of thinking across cultures. Just as a simple example, YouTube is not exclusively an American cultural phenomenon, and becoming a YouTuber is not just a dream of the youth in the US. And lastly, the fourth issue is that even though the education you receive marks you, so does your self-research. What I mean with that, as a person in the field of science, I got to learn to work, think, write, and even speak in a particular manner, and that will definitely stick with me for the rest of my life. But what defines a person is not how someone works, writes, or speaks, but what they write, what they speak, what they think, and for what reasons. I got influenced by Seneca. He was Roman. I got influenced by Al-Ghazali. He was Arabic. I got influenced by Ghamidi. He is Pakistani. I got influenced by Atatürk. He was Turkish. I got influenced by Confucius. He was Chinese. There are many more people that fundamentally changed the way I think, view, and perceive life as it is. These people have a stronger and deeper influence left in me than any education ever will, to the point that I can say with confidence that I will take these values to my grave. It was not the German education or not even the German language that enabled me to read the works of these great minds, but my own self-interest. Now some might say, but sure, it was the German education system that at least taught you English. Yes, at a basic level. It was the dialogue with my Pakistani friend that allowed me to gradually improve my English, as well as my interest in English written and spoken content that improved my English. So following the initial logic, I'm a Roman Arab Pakistani Chinese Turk. With globalism blurring the boundaries of culture, my identity with my personal characteristics is not the result of the German education I received, but the effort I put into myself. This applies to me as much as it applies to anyone else. But Sefa, you're born in Germany, you have friends in Germany, also in Turkey, you have memories in Germany, also in Turkey, you claim to be happy in Germany, I was also happy in Turkey. So you're telling us all that you would rather perceive a foreign country like Turkey as your nation than the nation you have all these memories in. I also have memories in Turkey. Let's ignore the fact that I visit Turkey more than for just tourism and that I lived in Istanbul for roughly a year. Yes and no. We live in the 21st century and my personality is not the result of the German education or the people around me, which are frankly speaking relatively uninterested in the topics I am. Frankly speaking, except for 1 to 2 people, my entire family doesn't care for my YouTube channel or my content, which does include my friends. However, I am the product of my own effort as well as the effort of all the people that allowed me to get into contact with the works of the great minds I got inspired by. So in conclusion, I must ask, why do I even have to choose? People often tell Turks from Germany that it must be hard to be torn between two cultures. Why can I not be part of both? Why can I not perceive both nations as my country? Why can I not feel comfortable with both? And why does my identification as one or the other exclude me from one or the other? My life in Germany allows me to be part of German society. Likewise, my limited life in Turkey allows me to be part of Turkish society. Unless you want to pretend that a random village farmer knows the struggles of a student in Istanbul, I don't even see why I have to know about every layer of Turkish society. I have a Turkish migration background. I consider Turkish my mother tongue. I'm culturally a Turk. I'm being perceived as a foreigner in Germany. I do not need the validation or the agreement of anyone to say, I am a Turk. Germany and Turkey are my countries.